Hi everyone, it's Hannah here, and today I'm going to do some brainstorming for the Inktober prompt tempting. If you don't know what Inktober is, then have a look in the description below. Tempting makes me think of food, like when you have a really nice dessert and you're full, so you're like, oh, should I really eat it? But like, it looks so good that of course you're going to eat it. So you could do like cake or pastry or ice cream or chocolate. Maybe you want to do ice cream with berries on top. Maybe you want to have a chocolate mud cake or like berries on top of a cake. Or you could do a cake with really fancy icing. And you know how people do cake decorating and they come up with all those incredible designs? Maybe you could do one of those. You could draw a chocolate fountain. That could be fun to draw actually, because you've got that kind of pouring chocolate thing. And I think it would be also very fun to draw a fountain in general. They look quite fun to draw. And if you draw a chocolate fountain, then maybe you have strawberries next to it that you can dip in, or banana or other fruit. For tempting, you could draw something expensive where it's like you don't really know if you should spend all that money on it, but you think it would be really handy or it would look really good if it's clothing. So maybe you should think about, what do you find the most tempting? Like, I know some people, they find it really hard not to spend too much money on like sushi, or other people it's coffee. Other people it's something more expensive. So you can think about, what do you find most tempting that you don't want to spend too much money on? Maybe it's like cars or clothes or something else. Maybe like experiences, like travel. Maybe you want to draw like a plane or someone overseas on a holiday because you find that idea really tempting. Also, if you draw food, you could draw a dog looking at food, like panting and looking at food. And then, of course, you could also do like savory foods. Maybe like cheese, or like cheese and wine, a combination of things. Or pizza, or burgers and chips. Yeah, like maybe you've been asked to hang out with some friends or something, and you think that idea would be really tempting to go out for pizza with them, but you have to stay home and do some work, or do some chores, or do some homework or something. Tempting also makes me think of like sirens. So in, I think it's Greek mythology, those like pretty women who would like try and tempt the sailors to make their ships crash. So if they like distract the sailors, then they'll crash into rocks. So maybe do some research into that. I know that I've just really focused on food, but that's where temptation just comes into mind the most. Yeah, so I mentioned clothes up here. You could like draw someone who's a shopaholic and really likes shopping. And they're like always tempted by the next best thing. But yeah, it might be fun to draw some expensive cars because that's something that people find tempting to spend their money on. Oh yeah, and if people are trying on clothes and it's tempting, then it could be like they could have the price tags on them. Yeah, and you could of course go like a darker route and find like doing something dangerous tempting. Like the idea of speeding or like taking drugs, it's like that's tempting because it's like, oh, you know, you shouldn't really do it, but it's like tempting. So maybe you could incorporate that into your artwork and take like a darker route. Oh yeah, and people are also tempted by the idea of fame as well. And yeah, also jewelry as an expensive thing. Like that represents glitz and glamour, I think. Those are my ideas for the Inktober prompt tempting. Thank you for watching. My name's Hannah. Shadows Exhibit is my collection of artworks. If you want me to see your art, then use the hashtag ShareWithShadows on Instagram. I'll see you next time.